The Comp3D is an effect in Mistika that can have multiple inputs, but it's also very useful for working when it has a single input. And for example, we're going to use it to stabilize this clip. I'm selecting the clip and go to my Effects tab and press Comp3D. You could also click the hotkey Alt 3 and that will add the Comp3D effect as well. When you double click, we enter the visual editor, and in the visual editor we could see that the Comp3D already considers the clip as layer 1. And I'm going to move the clip a little bit in the timeline, and you can see that it might benefit from a little bit of stabilization or smoothing. To do that, I'm going to perform a tracking, and I'm going to perform a tracking on the clip level. So I double click on the clip and head to the tracking tab. Once I am in the tracking tab, you can see here that I have a single tracker, and what I'm going to do is a single point track. Other information that we find here in the trackers, for example, this blue and black dotted lines at the end, that is basically defining the range of where we're going to be working. This is kind of the safe area that you can modify over here in setup. Anything going out of that area won't be tracked. For the purpose of this shot, 90% is enough. I'm gonna move the tracker to one of these branches here, as they are highly contrasted area that might help us to do the tracking. Once I'm here, the only thing I have to do is go to my do tracking column, and as I'm in the first frame, I'm gonna press forward. And when I press forward, we could see there how Mistika analyzes the shot quickly. I'm gonna go to the Comp3D now by double clicking, and I'm gonna open by pressing the plus button here all the different subfolders of layer 1, and in this case I'm gonna open the subfolders of transform. If I click on the arrow pointing to the right here, I display all the parameters that are in the subfolders. So one thing to take into account when once we've got the tracking information is that wherever we apply it, that frame is going to be the anchor point. So if I decide that my first frame is the frame I want to respect in this track, I'm gonna go to frame 0 there and apply here. I have the options of moving, stabilizing, or smoothing. What I'm gonna do now is just stabilize. So I hit stabilize, and you can see there that position X and Y, as it was a single point tracker, are the anchor point of this tracker, and then any movement applied is going to be done from that point. Okay, so going back to the Comp3D, let's see it slightly better. So we could see a white frame there around our clip, and we could see some blanking crops up from at the end. So to avoid that, what we're gonna do, well, first of all, I'm gonna show you the keyframe graph, and in the keyframe graph I'm gonna hit here to zoom. I'm gonna select position X and position Y, and you can see that only the animated parameters are shown in the keyframe graph. And there you can see as soon as I hit on zoom fit, how I can zoom the viewing of my keyframe graph to the animated elements. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to axis number 1 and zoom in a bit and move a little bit the clip. I'm going to select size X and size Y. You can select more than one parameter with the shift button, in this case size X and size Y, and with the middle button of the mouse I'm gonna zoom in both of them 8% and position this to the left and see if that has been enough to get rid of the blanking, and it has. So there we go, we stabilized our shot. I'm gonna go back to my timeline, zoom out, add with W play markers, go to the start, press play, and if necessary I can group it and put it back into my timeline.